What's that called? A lever. Okay. Oh, you know, before we talk about the guns, I wanted to make a little comment about Arnold Lavin. He was scheduled to throw out the first pitch for the Dodgers this season. Arthur Gardner, sorry, one of them just passed away and I get them confused, was scheduled to throw out the first pitch for the Dodgers this season, and he was practicing. 100 years old, the man is. He fell back and hurt his arm, but he did it. He threw out the first pitch for the Dodgers, so that was cool. Talk about your dad's guns, and whose idea, what was the concept behind the rifleman? Was that your dad's idea for the rifle and for the lever, or was that already conceptualized before he got the role? And then tell them who owns them and all this whole business about the guns.
You remember the movie Stagecoach with John Wayne? Well, the rifle that he used in that movie, a lot of people think that just floated over my dad. But when my dad tried out for the part of his rifleman, he walks in the door and the door opened like this. Well, Arthur Gardner was sitting behind the desk, but the other two were on the couch. So once my dad made it past the door, they threw the rifle at him, and he caught it like this. And they said, "We just found our Lucas McCain." So what they originally wanted my dad to do is kind of try to fan the gun like a pistol. Well, the original levers on these things, my dad, so it was my dad's design to make the lever big enough, and then the trip screw is right here, and it catches the trigger.
How did your father design that?
Yeah, that was his design. And growing up, you know, me and my brothers would always get out, how many shots did he fire at the beginning of the show? Well, when I was a kid, I didn't care. I just thought it was fast. But me and my guitar player, friend of mine, Jack Daniels, we sat down, and what it is this is a Winchester model 1892 44-40 carbine. We'll only shoot 11 shots. Can't put one in the chamber. So in the opening scene, you hear 12 shots. So, I always counted 13, my daughter counted. But what happened, there was 2 cameras on dollies following my dad. So you got to be careful, because it's hard to count, you know, but if you can slow it down, and you count 7 when he comes back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, the back camera picks it up, he's got 5 more. So they say, well, it had to do with the music of the guy that's starring Chuck Connor. Well, if you had 2 cameras, well, on the editing room floor, you got 22 shots. So they weren't thinking about 11 shots, so it was a oops. But it still worked, but my favorite part of that whole front thing is when he throws a rifle into his hand, he's not looking. I had a gentleman come up to me one time and say, so I hear they had to speed the film up to make your dad look like he was firing faster. I said, no, that would be Bruce Lee's movie, Enter the Dragon. And that's true. I talked to John Saxon, who was in that, and there was a couple parts in the movie where they did speed up the film to keep up with Bruce Lee. As far as my dad, he asked the director, was that fast enough? So, but the very first gun that he used, Arnold Palmer owns it now. And then the second one, a friend of mine in Brooklyn has it. And there was another gun made, it was called an El Tigre. It was a Brazilian-made gun. Then went to Sammy Davis Jr. Now Johnny's got one, and I got one from the 5th season that was supposed to go to a 6th season. But this is just a mock-up. If we came from California, if we would have had just a straight flight over here, yeah, if we didn't have to change planes, I would have brought it. But you know, but it's a beautiful rifle, and you know when we do these shows, what I hear the most is I grew up with the rifleman. And you know, I asked this one gentleman, what does that mean to you? And he says, I'll tell you, my dad was a drunk, he used to beat the crap out of us. And if it wasn't for your father and Johnny, I'd probably be dead or in prison. So it kept, you know, the family values, you know, because Chuck was stern with Mark, but it just showed, it kept, and back in the 50s, you know, hugging wasn't that big of a, there wasn't a lot of hugging going on. But if Lucas and Mark could do it, so it kept a lot of families tighter, kept relationships, and we don't have that today. I wish we did. I mean, I'm not getting this Vampire Diaries. I don't know if you guys watch this stuff, but this, you know, but we, you know, we're trying to get I mean, John Wayne's True Grit, the remake with Jeff Bridges. I have different feelings of it, but I'm glad they came out because it's a Western, and I'm glad to see Josh Brolin doing so good because he's out from underneath his dad, and he's coming along real good. But the Westerns, all the Westerns, you know, like everybody loved. In those days, there was, you know, Leave It to Beaver, Cheyenne, all those shows that had values. There's no more heroes out there anymore. You know, Steven Seagal, I mean, I was a fan of Steven Seagal, you know, to a certain point, but anyway, they auctioned the second rifle that my friend Louis Massocia has in Brooklyn. He got that on an online auction, went for $55,000. Now, when you look at this gun, it looks like this lever. Because a lot of people says there was different levers used. Well, all it was, my dad dropped the gun, so they didn't reround it. But I have a picture on my table where he's flipping both of them at the same time. So a lot of people come up and go, could he really do that? So I just said, yeah, he just stopped in the middle so they could take the picture.